Hello, good evening. How are you? Happy Sunday to you. I believe you are doing great. Yeah, thanks. God bless you. Thanks for joining me again this evening as I will be sharing a thought with you. I will share a quick thought with you. It's a random thought. Yesterday we looked at a topic and there's a particular portion of that discussion which centered on process, and I felt like taking that properly, taking it a step further so that you understand the concept of process the more. And that's why I'll be sharing on understanding the power of process. You can tell the future before it happens. So that's what we're going to be looking at this evening. So understanding the power of process, you can tell the future before it actually happens. So that's what I'll be discussing briefly this evening. There is a portion of the Bible that says that God, He tells the future before it even happens. Everything He plans comes to pass, for He does whatever He wishes. Now, that's it. As far as God is concerned, we do know that He knows the end of a thing from the beginning thereof. Of course, that's it. Do you know that the same thing applies to humans? We actually know the end of a thing before it actually starts out. And I will tell you why. You know what? When God created us, He actually created us in His likeness, in His image. That means we are seeking after God. And the way God operates, that is the way we operate as humans. As God actually knows the end of a thing from the beginning, that is the way He wants us to operate. And of course, for anyone that will create things, that will make things happen, they have to follow this same procedure or this same pattern. And that is what I'm bringing to you this evening, so that you know the end of a thing even before you start out. It's because that is actually the way to greatness. That's the way to actually succeed in life. That is why for successful people, they are not surprised about their success, because before they actually achieve that success, they have been there, they have seen it, they have identified the future right from the beginning of that enterprise. And that is the method, that's the strategy to actually achieve greatness in life. We are created as God, and of course, we should operate the way He operates. And that is the way He wants us to operate. In fact, it's actually funny that you don't even have to be a believer before you understand this strategy and work according to this strategy. In fact, several people that are successful, we have seen that they have this strategy, they have this kind of a procedure, or this kind of a way in which they achieve their goal in life. Now, let's get to it. Understanding the power of process. Now, when we talk of process, it's just like going from point A to point B. Because you are journeying from point A to point B, going from point A to B actually makes that a journey. That means you need to cover a distance from point A to point B. And because that involves a journey, process comes into play, time comes into play, resources and energy comes into play. Let me give you an example. Let's assume that my point A is, let's say, impacting myself, and point B is the end product in which I want to see myself impact 100 persons. That is a journey. Now, that is a journey in which I have to achieve. Let's give another instance. Probably, let's say point A is that at point A, I'm earning 1,000 naira in a month. Now, point B, I'm seeing myself earning, let's say, 500,000 naira in a month. That means that from point A of earning 1,000 to point B of earning 500,000, it's a journey. The point B is actually the future. And that is what I'm saying, that you can actually know the future from the beginning of the journey, from the beginning of the enterprise. And that is the way God operates. And that is the way successful people actually operate. And we must actually understand that if we actually want to attain greatness in life, you understand. So going from point A to point B, you just mention it in any aspect of your life. You need to write it down that, okay, I need to move from point A to B. So you state your initial position, which is probably point A. This is where I am. and point B is the future. Now you picture the future. Then this is it now. You picture the future and you come back to point A and work towards that future. Let me repeat that. Now, when we talk of understanding process, this is it. You are in point A, but you want to get to point B. Now you need to imagine. You need to figure out point B. The question is, what is your point B? I just gave an instance that if I'm earning 1,000 naira in a month now, which is my point A, the initial point. Now I need to figure out or picture in my mind what my point B is gonna be. Now for Mr. A or Mr. Dada, for example, may actually envisage that his point B will be to earn 50,000 naira in a month, and that is his own point B. For another person, it can be okay, I'm going to do 500,000 naira in a month, and that is for that individual, that is his own point B. Now, for the two of them, they have actually pictured, they have imagined in their mind the future, which is the point B. Now they need to now come back to where they are, which is the point A, the initial point, and now walk towards the final point, which is point B. And that is why he said that for successful people, if you ask them, are you surprised about your success? Many a times they are not surprised about it because that is not the first time they are getting to point B. They actually know the future. All right, let's use the creation story to understand this properly. Now, as far as God was concerned, when He needed to create the universe, and probably when He needed to create the earth, you know what? The Bible says that in the beginning, the heavens and the earth He created, and the earth was void, it was in darkness, and all that. You know, the earth, that is the point A. That point A is the point in which the heart was in darkness, it was empty, it was void, and all that. Now, God needed to take the heart from point A to the future, a blessed earth, an environment that is awesome. Now, you would think that He just came forth in the first day of creation and said, "Let there be light," and there was light. No, it didn't happen that way. He actually went into the future first in His mind. All right, I think I'm back. Now, I was sharing the creation story that for God, He wanted to take the heart from point A, in which that's the point in which the earth was empty, it was in darkness, and all that. He needed to take the heart to another point. And you would think that He just came forth and said, "Let there be light," because He is God. No, He didn't do that. He actually went into the future to see the end product of what He wanted to create. And He now came back to the beginning and walked towards the end product of the heart that He wanted. The question you will probably ask me is that where or when did He actually go into the future to look at the finished product of the heart that He actually wanted? I will tell you that in that same Genesis, Bible says that the Spirit of the Lord was hovering over the waters. Now that word hovering, that word hovering came from the word raka. It came from the word sorry about that. It came from the word rakab, which actually means to over, to meditate, to breathe, to brood, sorry, to brood. Now, if you check the amplified version of that same verse, the amplified version actually puts it this way, that the Spirit of the Lord was hovering, it's brooded upon the waters. Now, that word brood means meditation. That means that before God actually created the earth, before God actually went forth to the task of creation, he actually meditated. That means that he thought of the final product of the heart that he wanted. He didn't just come up and just begin to create. No, now he has gone into the future to see the end product of what he wanted concerning the creation of the heart. And when he got to the end product, he came back to the beginning and he walked towards the end product in which he had seen in his heart. So if we have the opportunity to ask the Lord or to ask God that come on the seventh day when he was done with creation, that are you surprised with what you have? He will tell you no, because he had actually seen the end of the creation right from the beginning. And that is how we should actually operate too as believers or as humans. We should see the end of a thing before the beginning. So before you actually start out on a particular project, you need to actually envisage the final product and you work towards getting to that end product. You know, we do watch some action movies or some war films or something. They would, I mean, they have a war room and they have a drawing board. They would give the possible end result. They will simulate the war. They will simulate the mission. That is, you have to actually simulate the mission. You have to know the end product, the end point in which you are going to, and then you work towards it. And the journey to that finished product or finished thing or result you have in your heart is what we call the journey. And that is where the process comes into play. Point B, there will be resources that you will need to actually move from point A to point B. As the other example I cited the other time, that in a month and you want to do 50,000 naira in a month. That means you are moving from point A to B. You don't just say, come on, I want to make 50,000 naira and you go to sleep. No, the first thing is that you need to engage your mind. Is your mind resonating? Is it seeing you earning 50,000 naira in a month? If you have not seen it in your mind, that means your mind has not gone to that future to see yourself earning that amount of money. You will not earn it. Now, until your mind, let's use academics or studies for an instance too. Until your mind actually see you having distinctions in those courses, you wouldn't actually get those distinctions. They don't actually occur by coincidence. No, it doesn't occur by coincidence. In fact, I need to say good things never occur by coincidence. It doesn't. That means that your mind, first of all, needs to go to the end product. It needs to get to the future. You need to envisage it in your heart that this is where I need to be in the next, 1 month, 1 year, or thereabout. And since your mind now, you have gotten to the end point or to the future, you come back to the present and work towards that future. That is actually the first step. Now, if you are good, your mind resonates with the future in which you envisage. Your mind embraces that future. The other question that you need to ask is, how will I achieve this future that I have seen? Now, that is the question you need to answer, and that is what I call strategy. That is what I call strategy. Now your mind has seen the future. You can see the future in which you want to achieve. The question is, how will I achieve this? And that is what I call strategy. And that is what we saw as touching Joseph. Joseph, he was given the future that for Egypt, Egypt is going to have plenty for 7 years. And after 7 years, there will be famine for another 7 years. For crying out loud, they know the future already. The question is, how can they survive that future? How can they bring the plenty of the first 7 years into, how can they elongate it? How can they expand it for 14 years? And that is where strategy comes into play. And for Joseph, he actually brought in the strategy that they needed to save 20% of their income for the first 7 years. And of course, they needed storage facilities. It got to work with that strategy. I need to say that if you need to achieve a project, you need to actually ask yourself, you need to see yourself achieving it. You need to go into the future and see yourself achieve that particular project. Then you come back to the starting point and ask the question, how can I achieve this? Then you come up with a strategy, and of course that strategy you work with it. Now for process time, it's time bound. You need to be specific with your project. You need to be specific with this future thing we are talking about. You don't just think into the future, into the infinite time. No, it has to be time bound. Process, there is time at touching process. So you don't just say, okay, I see my mind, and my mind resonates with me seeing myself doing this, and you don't give a time. No, it is time bound. And the importance of time is for you to, it will even influence the strategy that I mentioned just earlier on. It will influence what you need to do per time. You understand? And that is it. And when this comes into play, the other thing that come into it is patience. You need patience. Because anytime time comes into a thing and work is involved, strategy is involved, you actually need patience. Okay, the other thing is this: you need to understand that the journey is not straightforward. It's not a straight line thing. It's not like you are going from point A to point B and it will just be a smooth journey. Of course not. Now, for you to move from point A to point B, it might be a curve. You might go through a valley. You might need to climb mountains and all that before you get to point B. That is the end point. Now, that is where endurance comes into play. That is where patience comes into play, and you must take note of this. The other thing is that you need to actually envisage for those things you didn't think of. You know, things that you do not envisage will definitely come. I mean, it will definitely come up. And of course, that is what we call miscellaneous. When you talk of projects, you know, when you are I marking a particular amount for a project. If you are doing, let's say the project will cost you ₦1 million, of course, for that project you do 1.1 million. Usually, there's room for 5 to 10% for miscellaneous. That means those things that you didn't think of, that you didn't envisage when it comes. And of course, this is the reason for plan B. You think of the best, and at the same time, you think of the worst. Do you know what? That even God in creation, he actually thought of the miscellaneous. He actually had a plan B. You understand that if this happens, this is the way out. And of course, we saw that written all through scriptures from Genesis all through to the book of Revelation. So that is it. So that's it. And of course, in conclusion, after you have gone into the future, that is your plan, your point B, you come back to point A, and of course, you walk towards point B. This is it. You need to actually put all things into God's hand. And this is the reason why I said you need to put all things into God's hand, because Bible says that the horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory is of the Lord. Now, if you say victory is of the Lord and you do not prepare the horse for the day of battle, then probably you are joking, or you didn't interact with God to give you wisdom and strategy. You are obviously joking. So this whole process, you need to put it in God's head, because we do know that there is more in the spiritual realm than even the physical. And if you can work with this, you will definitely achieve your goals. So this is just a random thought for you this evening. It's just a short one. If you need to check out on my previous broadcast, I've been talking about courage for the past few days. You can check my YouTube channel, or probably check my profile, my Facebook profile. You will definitely see some of those videos, and of course, those videos will be of benefit to you. Okay, so thank you. God bless you. I have some books if you are interested. That's moving the coils, appropriating the enormous power in us. This book actually expatiates on the power we have as believers. So you can check that out. It's actually free. You can check it out. Check that link on top of the picture there. So you can check that book out, download and enjoy it. I have another one for you, the SWOT analysis of a leader. This likewise is free, so you can check it out. You can download and enjoy. And of course, this is how to live above circumstances, how to be in control. I went all the way in this book to actually give you resources, information on this. And apart from this book, I also have worksheets some questions free and post that will actually help you to achieve your goal in this. God bless you. I have other books I've written and published, 9 books, and they are globally distributed. This is actually different from the devotionals that I've also published. I have quite a number of them. Just check any of the book outlets that you are comfortable with. You will definitely find the book, or you can just type my name and book. It will take you to any site that you want. Of course, God bless you. This is the next topic. Many die unfulfilled for lack of courage, the way out. So I will share that with you in my next broadcast. Thank you for joining me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click on the notification button so that you can get a notification anytime I drop any result in on in that channel. Of course, join my Telegram channel too. Thanks. God bless you. I celebrate you. Thanks for joining in this evening. God bless you.